Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
1. Introduction. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, stood before the nation's most important military leaders. The setting was formal, a room filled with dedicated men and women in uniform. It was his second term in office, a time he described as critical for the country's future. He spoke to a large group of generals, admirals, and other high-ranking officers, all representing the brave forces of America. The president thanked them for their unwavering hard work and for serving the country with great loyalty. He proudly stated that the United States military was, in his view, the greatest fighting force in the entire history of the world. He expressed his deep pride in every soldier, sailor, airman, and Marine. The president then clearly explained his main goal for this new period. He wanted to bring back a strong warrior spirit to the country, a spirit he believed had been lost over time. This powerful spirit, he said, had helped build America from its very beginnings, from brave cavalry to famous generals of the past. He believed it was essential to fully restore America's strength, both at home within its borders and in its standing around the world. He wished for the military to become stronger, tougher, faster, fiercer, and more powerful than it had ever been before. This renewed strength, he argued, would be key to keeping the nation safe, respected, and free from threats. He shared good news about the military's current state. He noted that many more people were now choosing to join the armed forces. Recruitment numbers had increased very quickly, reaching record highs in recent months. This showed that people felt a strong sense of purpose and pride in serving their country. The Navy, Air Force, and Space Force all met their recruitment goals months ahead of schedule. The Army did even better, reaching its targets 4 months early, even with higher standards in place. This strong interest meant the military could select the very best individuals for its ranks, further improving its overall quality. The president also spoke about a vital principle: merit. This meant that all jobs and promotions in the military would be given based on a person's abilities, skills, and character, not on other factors. He emphasized that this approach was crucial for building the strongest possible military. By choosing the most capable people, America would ensure its defense was in the best hands. He stressed that the military's most important job was to defend the American homeland. He declared that the country needed to be so strong that no other nation would dare to challenge its power. America should become so powerful that no enemy would even think about threatening its peace. This strategy, he believed, would achieve true peace through unmatched strength. He envisioned an American military that was an unstoppable force, capable of stopping conflicts and protecting its interests before wars could even begin. This was his clear vision for America's renewed strength and purpose for the future generations. 2. New names and big ideas. One important change happened early in the new term. The government department that works with the military received a new, old name. It changed back to being called the Department of War. This decision came from thinking about history. Before the 1950s, this department was always known as the Department of War. During those earlier times, America achieved many great victories. For example, the nation won the First World War and the Second World War. People believed that the original name showed a powerful, winning spirit. Some felt that changing it to defense had made the country forget its strong way of thinking and its history of success. The idea behind this name change was to bring back a winning mindset. It was not about starting more fights, but about being ready and strong. The new name aimed to show that America was serious about protecting itself and its interests. This return to the old name was very popular with many people across the country. They saw it as a way to clearly state America's purpose and identity. They felt it helped restore a sense of pride and a clear vision for the military. This change was meant to make the nation feel more confident and united in its goals. Another big idea was about changing a geographical name. The large body of water known as the Gulf of Mexico was given a new name, the Gulf of America. For many years, people had asked why it was called the Gulf of Mexico. This was because the United States had most of the land along its coast. In fact, America had 92% of the shoreline. This decision was also a way to boost national pride and show ownership. It was seen as a logical step to correct a long-standing naming issue. If most of the land around the Gulf belonged to America, then the name should reflect that fact. These two changes were not just about new words on paper. They were symbolic actions that carried a deeper meaning. They aimed to remind everyone of America's strength and its important place in the world. By bringing back the Department of War and renaming the Gulf of America, leaders hoped to restore national pride and a clear sense of purpose. These actions were presented as a way to make the country stronger, both at home and in its dealings with other nations. They helped to signal a new direction, one focused on strength, identity, and a winning spirit for the future. People felt these changes showed that the country was moving forward with a strong and determined attitude, ready to face any challenge. 3. Stopping fights around the world. The new government worked hard to stop many fights around the world. In the first 9 months, 7 conflicts were settled, and an 8th major agreement was made. One of the most important was the end of the fight between Pakistan and India. These two countries have nuclear weapons, so peace was very important for the world. The president used trade as a tool for peace. He told both nations that if they continued fighting, America would stop all trade with them. This helped to quickly stop the conflict, which had already seen 7 planes shot down. A leader from Pakistan later thanked the president, saying this action saved millions of lives. Another big success was a historic peace agreement in the Middle East. People in this region had been fighting for 3,000 years. This new deal brought together many Arab and Muslim nations with Israel. Most of the involved parties agreed to the peace. The president also put forward a plan for peace in Gaza. He suggested creating a board of peace to help manage the area and keep it peaceful. He agreed to lead this board, showing his strong commitment to ending the long conflict. In Africa, a long and deadly fight between Congo and Rwanda also ended. These two countries had been fighting for 31 years, and 10 million people had tragically died. The new American government helped them find a way to stop the war. Another difficult conflict in Azerbaijan, which had lasted for 36 years, was also settled. Leaders from both sides who had been enemies for decades met and after talking became friends. This shows that even very old and complex fights can end with strong and direct diplomacy. These many peace deals were possible because of a new approach called peace through strength. The idea is simple. America must be very strong. If America is seen as weak, other countries may not listen or respect its calls for peace. But with great military and economic strength, America can help stop wars and bring peace to troubled regions. The president believes that being strong helps to avoid wars, not start them. He wants to keep American soldiers out of wars when possible. By showing strength, America can make other nations listen and agree to peace. This new way of working has brought many important peace deals to the world, helping to make it safer. The president is confident in his ability to make such deals based on his experience. 4. The big fights that are left. After successfully helping to end many conflicts around the world, one very important and difficult fight still continued. This was the war between Russia and Ukraine. It was proving to be the hardest challenge to solve. Many believed that this war would not have happened if the country had shown stronger leadership in the past. The previous administration's decisions had created a path for this conflict to start. A key event that led to these current global problems was the way the previous government left Afghanistan. This moment was seen as a horror show and a source of great shame for the nation. It showed a lack of strength to the world. Some people believe that this perceived weakness gave leaders like Russia's President Putin a reason to begin the war in Ukraine. This past decision, made by the prior leaders, created serious issues that are still affecting the world today. It opened the way for the conflict to grow. Now, the main goal was to bring an end to the fighting between Russia and Ukraine. This meant getting the two leaders, President Putin and President Zelensky, to meet and discuss peace. However, such talks could only happen if the United States acted from a position of undeniable strength. If the nation was seen as weak, these leaders would not seriously consider calls for peace. The renewed warrior spirit and restored national strength, now evident, were essential for this task. The war was causing terrible human suffering. Every single week, a large number of soldiers were losing their lives. Between 5,000 and 7,000 soldiers were dying weekly. This made it one of the deadliest wars in terms of military casualties since the Second World War. This immense loss of life made finding a quick and lasting solution very urgent. It was a sad and unnecessary situation that needed to stop for the good of all. Bringing lasting peace to Russia and Ukraine was the most significant task that remained. It required leadership that was both strong and clear. The lessons learned from past actions, such as the withdrawal from Afghanistan, clearly showed that weakness could lead to more global instability and conflict. Therefore, a firm and strong approach was now being used to bring this very difficult and deadly war to a close. This was the ultimate big fight that was left, aiming to achieve peace through strong and wise action. 5. More people joined the army. The spirit in the armed forces grew strong. there was a big change in how people felt about joining the Army, Navy, and Air Force. For many years, it was hard to find enough people to join the military. News stories often showed that recruitment numbers were low. But now, things were very different, and a new sense of pride filled the ranks. New enlistments or people signing up went up to record highs. This was the highest number of new recruits the country had ever seen. The Navy, Air Force, and Space Force all met or even went past their goals for new people. They did this 3 months early in the year 2025. This had never happened before. The Army did even better. It met all its goals 4 months early. These goals were set higher than in previous years, showing a strong desire to make the military larger and more capable. Overall, the military reached 106% of its target for new recruits for the year. This was the best result in more than a generation. The Marine Corps also saw great success. Their morale was so strong that they met their goals for keeping soldiers by October. This was much earlier than expected, and the earliest it had ever happened in the country's history. It made everyone in the military feel good to see so many people wanting to serve. Before, it was embarrassing to hear about recruiting shortages. Now the jobs in the military were highly desired, and many people wanted to be a part of it. A big reason for this change was a new rule. The government brought back the important idea of merit. This means choosing the best people for the job based on their skills, abilities, and experience, not for other reasons. This was a very important decision. Before, some people who were not truly fit for their roles might have been chosen. Now, everything was based on merit. This meant that the military focused on fitness, strong ability, good character, and overall strength. The purpose of the American military is to protect the country, not to worry about being politically correct or protecting anyone's feelings. By choosing only the best people, the military became much stronger. There were many people who wanted to join, so the military could pick the most talented and dedicated individuals. This allowed the armed forces to grow more powerful than ever before. This focus on merit helped build a military that was ready for any challenge, made up of the most capable men and women, ensuring America's strength for the future. 6. New ships and new planes. The country made a big promise for its military. In the year 2026, the budget for the military would be more than $1 trillion. This was the most money ever spent on the military in the nation's history. These large funds would help make the armed forces stronger and more modern. Every part of the military, including the Army, Navy, and Air Force, would receive important investments. The goal was to have the best equipment and resources available to protect the nation. A new fighter jet was being built as part of this effort. It was the first of its kind, a 6th-generation plane, meaning it used the newest technology. This advanced aircraft was called the F-47. It showed how much the country was investing in new military technology to stay ahead. The F-47 was designed to be a very powerful and fast plane, giving the Air Force new abilities in the sky. Billions of dollars were also invested in making the nation's nuclear weapons better and more reliable, ensuring a strong defense. To protect the country from attacks, plans for a new missile defense system began. It was named the Golden Dome Missile Defense Shield. This system would be the most advanced in the world, designed to stop incoming missiles before they could cause harm. Its purpose was to keep the nation safe from any threat from the air. The shield was a major part of the new defense strategy, showing a commitment to protecting the homeland. The United States Navy also planned to grow significantly. Under the new budget, at least 19 new ships would be added to the fleet next year. These ships included powerful submarines, swift destroyers, and large assault ships, among others. The goal was to make the Navy much larger and more powerful on the seas. Leaders noted that in the past, during the Second World War, the country could build many ships quickly, sometimes one a day. Now, there was a plan to bring back that ability to build ships faster and more efficiently. Discussions even included the idea of bringing back older, strong ships like battleships, which were made of solid steel. These older designs were considered because heavy armor was durable, and traditional bullets were much less expensive than modern missiles, offering a practical advantage. This commitment showed a strong focus on defending the country and its interests for many years to come. The military was getting the best new equipment and more resources to stay strong and ready, making sure no other nation would dare challenge the country's power. 7. Making our cities safe. The country also focused on keeping its own people safe. This meant protecting the borders from illegal entry. In the past, many people entered the country without permission. Some of these people came from prisons or mental hospitals in other countries. It was like an invasion from inside, but without uniforms. Now, the military and the National Guard work to secure the borders. This stops dangerous people, like drug dealers and murderers, from coming in. Before, 25 million people had entered without proper checks, but in recent months, almost no one entered illegally. This was a big change. Controlling the border is very important for the nation's safety. Inside the country, many cities had big problems with crime. Washington, D.C. was once a very unsafe place, but with the help of the National Guard, it became safe again. In just 12 days, 1,700 serious criminals were removed from the city. Now, people feel safe walking in Washington, D.C. Other major cities like Chicago and Portland also had many problems. In Chicago, there were many murders and shootings every week. Firemen in some inner cities faced people shooting at them while they worked. In Portland, parts of the city looked like a war zone. The government plans to help these cities too, using military support if needed. This is seen as a fight from within the country to make places safe again for all citizens. Leaders in the past, like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, also used the armed forces to keep peace at home. The fight against drug cartels was also a very important task. These groups caused much death and trouble in the Western Hemisphere. Drugs, like fentanyl, killed 300,000 people last year. Many families lost a child or loved one. The military started to stop boats carrying drugs into the country. Before, many boats came from places like Venezuela, bringing huge amounts of drugs. Now, there are no more drug boats on the ocean. This shows that strength can stop these threats. The cartels were even called terrorist groups, which gives the government more power to fight them. The goal is to make sure no one can poison the country's people with drugs. This work helps to protect everyone at home. An executive order was signed to train a quick reaction force to help calm civil unrest. This force will help manage problems before they get too big, making sure peace and order return to American cities. 8. A strong America for the future. Building a strong America for the future is the most important lesson. This means achieving peace by being very strong. The country has shown that its power can help settle many disagreements around the world. Difficult conflicts that lasted for decades have been resolved. This shows that when America is strong, it can make peace possible and stop bigger fights from happening. This approach makes sure America is respected again, so its voice for peace is heard. A key part of this strength is making sure that allies also do their part. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or NATO, is an important group of allies. In the past, some NATO members did not spend enough money on their own defense. Now, these allies have agreed to increase their payments. They are spending more on their militaries, with some reaching 5% of their country's money for defense. This means America does not carry all the costs for their protection. It helps America focus on its own needs first. This idea is called putting America first in all foreign policy decisions. It means the country makes choices that are best for its own people and safety. The vision for the future is to have an American military that no other country can match. This military will be the most powerful force in the world. It will have the most advanced technology and the best trained service members. The country is investing over $1 trillion in its military in 2026. This includes new fighter jets, a missile defense system called the Golden Dome, and at least 19 new ships for the Navy. This investment ensures that every military branch has the best equipment. It also means keeping nuclear defense capabilities modern and ready, always hoping they will never need to be used. Such a powerful military works as a deterrent. This means it is so strong that other nations will not dare to start a war with America or its friends. The goal is to stop wars before they even have a chance to begin. By being unmatched in strength, America aims to keep the peace and protect its freedom for many generations. This enduring strength ensures that the nation remains safe and respected globally, preventing threats and building a secure future. It carries forward a long history of American warriors, making sure that future generations live in a secure and free nation, protected by an unstoppable force.